Before we start our discussion, here are our quick view answers. Singapore is the country listed here with the highest amount of exports as a percent of GDP. For Nigeria, not listed here, exports as a percent of GDP is 10.7. For comments, adverts, and sponsorship, please see our information displayed on the screen. Recently, the Central Bank of Nigeria has faced much interrogation from people who may have thought that it was unable to generate foreign exchange. Folks, this one is not the fault of monetary policy. The Nigerian economy is well known to be perilously dependent on crude oil exports, as it has historically failed to diversify its export base. The recent crash in oil prices pulled the Nigerian economy into recession, which it is still battling to come out of. The development has now caused people to realize that they can earn foreign exchange themselves by exporting. But what are the challenges that Nigeria and all of Africa are facing in trying to build an export base? South Africa, with almost $82 billion in 2015, has the biggest export capacity in Africa. Even so, South Africa is currently experiencing serious challenges in trying to maintain its export market share globally due to primarily stiff competition from other emerging economies. We have a World Bank report that discusses some of these challenges, among others. Take a look.
Faster growth is central to the South African dream of reducing poverty and creating jobs. One proven road to faster growth is to grow exports and develop globally competitive export companies. A new report from the World Bank offers an assessment of South Africa's export performance. Titled Export Competitiveness in South Africa, the report utilizes a unique set of data drawn from 20,000 South African export companies over a 12-year period from 2001. The report finds that since 2005, South Africa's total exports have grown by only 0.6% a year, at a time when its BRIC counterparts, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, were making immense gains into global markets. It also finds that growth in South Africa's exports of non-minerals and services also fell behind, while volumes of mineral exports have been virtually flat. Why have South Africa's exports fallen behind? Seeking answers, the report uncovers several contributing factors. First, there is a virtual absence of dynamic medium-sized exporters. Around 1,000 companies generate 93% of all South African exports, giant companies who ship products to countries all around the world. The rest of South Africa's exporting firms export tiny amounts.
Worldwide, we see that mid-sized firms are the most dynamic. They are the most innovative in introducing new technologies, the most innovative in introducing new products. These firms drive export growth. If you take the example of Germany, its success in exporting has been built on these mid-sized firms.
Second, it appears that South Africa's export giants, the top 1%, are losing momentum. They are creating fewer new products and they are not expanding into new markets as much as before.
Global markets are highly competitive. New entrants from countries like Brazil, China, or Chile are constantly innovating in price or quality. And if South African firms do not innovate, they will soon be left behind.
Third, the goods South Africa exports are very sophisticated, produced by highly skilled workers and high-tech production processes. But this means that the export sector is not producing goods that take advantage of South Africa's large pool of less skilled workers. Africa is emerging as the main destination for South Africa's non-mineral exports, overtaking Europe as the main trading partner. However, the African market is still too small to drive overall export growth. The European market is still 30 times larger than Africa's.
Africa is a huge opportunity for big and small exporters. It is growing fast, it is on South Africa's doorstep, and South African firms know the market better than its global competitors.
Drawing on these findings, the report identifies 3 areas of opportunity to help ignite export growth. Firstly, promoting more competition in markets at home will spur companies to innovate, become more cost-efficient, and expand abroad. The second area of opportunity is the boost that South African exporters would gain from fixing infrastructure bottlenecks and cutting the charges they incur for the use of ports, rail, and telecommunications. The third area of opportunity is the potential for Southern African countries to cooperate in producing exports, creating a factory Southern Africa that combines all the region's resources. This would help build production chains that cut across national borders and plug the region into global networks for producing electronics, cars, chemicals, and processed foods. The report, Export Competitiveness in South Africa, does not profess to hold all the answers, but with its insight across tens of thousands of exporters, it is a report that aims to enrich the ongoing debate around how to grow South Africa's exports to create jobs and build a better life for all South Africans.
All of Africa would need to pay good attention to the experience of South Africa and try to produce products that are globally competitive. In addition, Africa would also have to come up with strategies for pooling resources in order to optimize infrastructural facilities and become more resilient in the global marketplace. Africa needs to believe in itself as it presses on for improved competitiveness. There is no other way. The competition out there will not go away. Africa must meet it and succeed in it. Let us now listen to President Paul Kagame of Rwanda as he addresses this issue. President Kagame here speaks at a World Export Development Forum in Kigali. Let's take a look.
The first obstacle to overcome is the belief that we cannot do it. If we overcome that, the rest is history. Our path to prosperity may be harder and slower than it was for others, but there is no country that is so isolated and disadvantaged that it cannot find some competitive edge in the global economy. So the first piece of the necessary mindset is to believe in ourselves. However, to find the right trade niche requires not only hard work, but also resilience in the face of setbacks and disappointments. There will be. If the path were easy or obvious, it would have been discovered already. Therefore, the second mindset trait is to never give up. Export development is really about embracing competition. How do we ensure that we are prepared to put ourselves out there globally and swim with the best? How do we equip local entrepreneurs and businesses to take advantage of the many opportunities to get better and stronger? To overcome geographical and other disadvantages, we must benchmark ourselves against the best in the world, not just against similar economies. For example, if you are winning all your tennis matches, you are probably not improving your game very much. You may think you are winning, even though, in a larger sense, you are really losing. If these steps that take you forward every time you compete are not realized. The same principle applies as we seek to develop the productive capacities of our citizens and our economies as a whole. So the third mindset element is to see competition as an opportunity rather than a problem. Our role as governments and facilitators is to ask what can be done to help our business people and workers to learn the lessons of competition faster so that the rewards can be shared without delay. The foundation of all our efforts is good governance.